Welcome to episode 23 of Behind the Shield. Today we are joined by women's track and field standout Sydney Fitzwater. Hello again, everybody. Scott Geis joining you for another edition of Behind the Shield. Today we get to catch up with Sydney as we talk about losing her spring season, balancing nursing and track and field, and how time management is critically important in what she does as a Spartan student athlete. So after this commercial break, Sydney Fitzwater.
The results are in, and it's clear that our Spartan family really showed their love for York College this YCP Day of Giving. You played an integral role in helping us reach new heights. Thank you for your generosity. Gifts from donors like you make a difference in the lives of our students every single day. Your continued support is so important. Because YCP is a nonprofit, so much of the York College experience is a direct result of the generosity of our donors. This year's Day of Giving created opportunities for every current and future student by providing funding for scholarships, academic areas, and student life that tuition alone cannot cover. Thank you to the entire Spartan family, alumni, current students, parents, and friends of the college. We couldn't have done it without you.
Welcome to episode 23 of Behind the Shield. We are joined by Sydney Fitzwater. Sid, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
So I got to ask you the question that everybody gets to open this up. How have you been surviving, and how's the summer gone for you?
It's been interesting. Life is just so different compared to before, but it's been good. I've gotten a lot of good experiences over the summer, but it's been very different.
We were talking before we started recording what you're doing this summer. Tell everybody a little bit about some of the things you're doing this summer with work-related stuff.
So I'm in a student nurse externship program at a hospital in my area, and I essentially go in and I'm with an RN all day, and I can assess patients. I help them where they need help. If a nurse is doing a cool procedure, I'll look in on that, and I'll get to see a lot of different stuff like that. So I'm there Monday through Friday, and I've gotten a lot of really great experiences that have helped me as a nursing student learn about patient care and disease processes and stuff like that. So I am constantly learning every single day, which is awesome.
One thing about obviously the nursing program at York College, very acclaimed, a lot of great experiences. How have your experiences been for your first 3 years of school? Do you feel like after next year when you graduate, you're going to be ready to roll?
The answer is no, actually. I feel like and I think if you asked any nursing professional that's out in the field already and any nursing student, I don't think anybody's ready after they graduate, because a lot of what you learn happens through doing things and experiencing things. So you take that NCLEX and you're on your own, but you get to orient to wherever you're working. So even if we're not ready, we're not just thrown into it. But I just can't even believe it that couple years, not a couple, but 3 years ago, I was a freshman, and in a year, an RN.
It goes by really, really, really fast. Since we're talking about nursing and we're talking about, we're obviously going to talk about your athletics, but what is it like being a student athlete at York? Clearly, as a nursing major, you probably have to be pretty structured in what you're doing. Does being an athlete help you as a student? Does it hurt? Does it kind of, make you be more disciplined? What are some of the things that being a student athlete for you and a nursing major really help you with?
I have always been a busy person. I thrive on a busy life. So I think it holds me accountable doing a sport and my studies as well. I think it really keeps me mindful of when I sit down to do something, I need to get it done. I can't mess around. I need to apply myself and use my time wisely. And knowing in the back of my mind, like, oh, I have practice at this time, or I have a meet this weekend, it makes me realize I need to be proactive and get things done in a timely fashion. It is hard for me at times. I feel like overwhelmed and overworked, I think, like any other college student would say. But I think it's made me more accountable and is preparing me for when I do enter the workforce, being able to time manage and all of that kind of stuff. So it's been really good, but it is difficult.
One thing that Jake O'Neill said when we talked to him earlier this week was that sometimes practice is kind of a relief because you're studying, and then all of a sudden you get to go to practice and be with your friends and your teammates. Do you kind of feel like that sometimes as well?
Absolutely. I think sometimes initially I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go to practice, and it like stresses me out a little bit. But then once I'm there, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to focus on this. After I get out of practice, I can focus on that. But for now, this is what I'm doing. And it's like a nice way to de-stress. And I'm with a different group of people, my teammates, rather than the people I have class with and that I study with. So it's definitely, I agree with Jake 100% that it does help with like just getting a different atmosphere and being able to have that release every day.
And when you talk about the throwers, it seems like you guys have a pretty cool culture, a pretty good group of people. Is that, you have obviously the track and field team, but then as the throwers, you guys just seem to have your, I don't want to say a clique, but you have a group that you're pretty close with. Talk a little bit about what it means to have that close group of, subset of teammates.
It's really nice because while we're part of the whole track and field team, we have like this little not isolated, but this unique group. I think I've gotten very close to all of my teammates, but a few especially that I think I'll be friends with them for forever. And it's just a very unique sport in general, like track. So it's very individual, but at the same time, we all still support each other and we understand what we're going through and we can help each other out. And my closest friend from school, like I met because we were both throwers. So, yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. I saw the video. I believe it was Olivia had broken the record, and I think you were more excited than she was, and which I think is awesome. Well, let's turn a little bit to indoor last year. You had a great indoor season, really strong. And then all of a sudden, boom, you don't even get to compete in the spring. How hard was that to, I don't know if accept, but to understand that, you got off to such a great start and then you just don't get a chance to compete. How hard was that to deal with?
I think it was hard for me to even understand at first. Like, I think we all saw it coming. We knew COVID was a thing. We knew a lot of other schools were closing. We knew other athletic departments were deciding not to continue on. And I think for me, I saw it coming, but it wasn't real until it actually happened. Mm-hmm. So then after it happened, I'm like, what am I going to do all spring? I mean, so much of my time, like even weekends, I have a meet like every weekend. I practice every day. Like, what am I going to occupy my time with? And what about like all the people that I get close with every season? I guess we're just not going to have that time to spend together. And it was tough. It was really tough. And I was excited because I did have some really great throws with shot put in indoor. And I was excited to carry that through outdoor, but it happened and it stinks. But
was it hard for the seniors that are your friends on the team? How hard was it to not have them to be able to go through with, to not be able to support them during their senior year?
I feel like it was just so sudden that like we didn't even get to say like our goodbyes or like best of luck in like whatever you do after graduation. Like we didn't get to spend those meets together and have the bus rides and all that kind of stuff. It was just kind of like us communicating via social media, and we didn't really get to take that time to spend with them and send them off into the real world, I guess. It was so sudden that it was hard for us to know what to do, how to send them off, and yeah.
So what are some of your favorite memories so far that you've had at your college? Obviously, clearly you've broken some records, you've, done well in all conference meets. What are some of the things that you will look back on and remember as part of your experience at your college?
I think in general, just the feeling of like accomplishment, when you like break your best throw, like when you get a new throw and you're like, this is my best throw ever. Those moments are something that always stick with me, especially when it's been a challenge for you to like meet that mark. Those moments are the ones that really stick with me. And also just like the success of my teammates as well. Like I love to see everyone do well. I enjoy when so-and-so beats me, because then that makes me want to beat them. And it's just great to have those meets where you're going back and forth, not only with yourself and the people you're competing against, but also your teammates. I think those are the moments I look back on and I'm like, that felt good. It feels good to be successful.
Yes, and again, with the track and field culture, you guys are kind of, you don't have a lot of home meets. You don't have a lot of, you have no home meets indoors. You only have one usually outdoor home meet, and usually it rains that day because that just seems to what happens all the time. Do you guys kind of band together a little bit more because you're not going to have crowds coming out and watching you, you're going to kind of be on the road all the time. Is that something that you think makes the team a little bit tighter?
I definitely think so. And track is so unique in that when you're competing, especially a field event, like you're the only one throwing at that time. So the audience isn't necessarily always just the fans. A lot of times it's your teammates and the people that are also throwing against you. It's just such a unique sport. And yeah.
Do you ever catch yourself watching somebody else and going, wow, what a throw? That was even an opponent, you're kind of amazed by what they're able to accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very technique-based sport. So we all have flaws in our own technique, but at the same time, everybody's technique is different. Like we all have our different habits and our different ways of going about it, but there are always like a few throwers that you have like your eye on that you're like, oh my word, they do this part of the throw really, really well. I want
almost an appreciation for somebody who does a good job. I think that's really cool.
Absolutely.
So moving forward, obviously, this year there's still a ton of uncertainty with what's going on. What is one thing that you look forward to as you get ready to start, hopefully indoor sometime probably in January, followed by outdoor season? What are some of the things as a senior that you're looking most forward to?
I think I'm just looking forward to being with people again, like being with my teammates, competing. I really missed that this spring. I found myself being like, I haven't seen so-and-so since March. And we weren't even competing at that point. Like we had just pretty much switched over to outdoor soon before we were sent home. So I'm just really excited to make those connections again. And even like seeing people from other schools that I knew from high school that threw, I really just miss the people, and I'm looking forward to that.
I think that is right on the head. I haven't been back to the Grumbacher in a while, and I miss just walking down the hall and seeing you guys studying or hanging out or doing whatever. It just, without that connection, I think it's tough. It's great to be able to see people via Zoom, but there's nothing like being able to have a quick 5-minute conversation. Hey, how's practice going? How's it? I think that's exactly right. The human connection, I think, is part of the most difficult thing of this entire process. So, well, we want to thank you for taking time to join us. I'm glad to be able to see you, and hopefully in a couple of weeks, you are in fact sitting at the Grumbacher Center studying and I will be able to
Yes.
pass you and say hello and look forward to having a great senior year, because certainly it's been a lot of fun so far, and hoping for a lot of great things this year. So Sydney, thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely.
At York College, we are proud of the fact that we have over 30 cultures and 30 countries represented among our campus community. We not only are proud of that fact, we celebrate the unique perspective and differences that each and every person on this campus brings to us. So on behalf of all of us at York College, I want you to know that you are welcomed here.
Tu eres bienvenido aquí. Vous êtes bien reçu ici. You're very welcome here.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
Você está bem-vindo aqui.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You're welcome here.
معكم رقية آل الشيخ من كلية يورك في بنسلفانيا. أنتم مرحب بكم هنا. We are welcome.
From day one at York College of Pennsylvania, you are welcome here.
We want to thank Sydney for joining us today. Certainly great to catch up with her, and great to see her as someone who I get to see often in the Grumbacher Center, studying diligently for her nursing classes. So we'll be back next week with some new episodes, and look forward to that. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Spartans.